And I'm just real with you guys.
Monday, happy days. Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, the cycle hums. Thank you, thanks to
Welcome back to the Keeping It Real podcast, the entertainment podcast where we rant, rate, and review movies, TV shows, and music. Today on the podcast, I'm here to discuss 10 movies to see if they make the grade. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 10 movies to review for you. I'm putting them all against each other. I'm going to see which one make the grade. Ladies and gentlemen, here on the Keeping It Real podcast, I have a rating system A through F. A is a perfect movie, needs no changes. B is a good movie, needs some changes. C is a good movie, but it needs a lot of changes, maybe a one-time watch. D is a bad movie, and no amount of changes can save this movie. Don't even waste your time. And we have rating F. Sometimes the movie is so bad it's good because it's so weird. It's corny. The CGI is off. The acting is off, but it's still watchable. You can still watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off the show with the first one. We're going to talk about The Backrooms.
I found something in the store.
Okay. What did you find?
The place. I found a place.
Hello?
आपको खुशामदीद कहते हैं।
Anyone there?
Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay, I'm gonna come back here with proof.
All right, you feel me?
Yeah. Follow my lead.
Clark, what is this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I've been here every night since I found the place, and I still barely scratched the surface. All right, just take it slow.
Oh my God.
Pull me up, pull me up, pull me up! What do you see?
All these rooms. This place builds them. It's like a maze. It just goes on and on. Sometimes I'm scared I'll get lost.
Clark, can you hear me? I don't understand. What is this?
It's beautiful. Am I right?
Hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is The Backrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, I went to go see The Backrooms in the theater. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw it when it came out. Kind of psyched up to go see this movie. This movie is a 2026 movie, runs about an hour and 50 minutes, rated R. It's starring Chiwetel Ejiofor as Clark, Renat Renzev as Mary, which is Clark's therapist. Chiwetel Ejiofor, he is a great actor. Fantastic actor. He was in 12 Years a Slave. He was in Doctor Strange. He was in 2012. He was in Maleficent 2. He's been in a lot of movies. Great actor. It's directed by Kane Parson. A little quick breakdown for you guys real quick. The Discovery. In 1990, this takes place during the 90s, furniture store owner Clark finds the portal in the basement to the back rooms, an endless maze of sterile yellow rooms. He becomes obsessed and brings employees, Kat and Bobby, to explore, but a monster kills Bobby. Clark's therapist, Mary, enters the back rooms to find him after he disappears. She discovers a broken Clark who has Kat's severed head and has created still life creatures from the back rooms from flawed memories of real people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I went to go see this movie and everything else. Me personally, it did not live up to the hype and everything, ladies and gentlemen. They hyped this movie up so much, like it was going to be super creepy and a whole bunch of shit going on and everything else. I just want to say it really didn't do that for me. And I'm going to give you my reasons why it didn't, and I'm also going to tell you what it could have changed. The main threat is a giant creature called Pirate Clark, a twisted misremembering of Clark from his store commercials, which ends up killing him. Mary's narrow escape the monster and is rescued by scientists from the ASIC Research Institute, a group secretly studying this dimension. This film ends ambiguously with it implying that ASIC may not let her go home. I will say about this movie, I thought he was going to be trapped in the back rooms and a bunch of shit was going to be going on. That's what I really thought about the back rooms. I didn't realize in this movie when I'm watching it that, okay, he's just going to enter the back rooms, enter, exit, bring people in there, all this type of shit. The beginning of the movie where he's talking to his therapist about his fucked up relationship with his wife and everything else, how she kicked him out the house and how he's basically just working some shitty job at a furniture store and all that type of shit like that. He's got a really fucked up life. So he's got some shit going on with him. He's talking to a therapist, working through his shit, but then even then, he's not wanting to really work through his shit with his therapist because, you know, they're doing some sort of role play thing or whatever else, but they were talking about, you know, therapist plays the wife and he plays the husband, obviously. And, you know, he's not able to really do that because it's just all the wife's fault and everything else. So he's just arguing with her about that. He happens to go into the basement of the furniture store, which he's sleeping in because he got kicked out of the house, and finds there is a wall that he can pass through and goes to the back rooms. And instead of him being like, fuck that, I'm not going to the back rooms or whatever, he goes in, explores, finds all this weird ass shit, gets out and wants to go ahead and prove to somebody, especially his therapist and to Kat and Bobby, that, okay, there is a back room, much weird shit going on, and he needs some sort of proof to bring out of there. That was probably the most unbelievable part of this movie because the main character is a black guy, and, you know what I'm saying, him passing through the wall and going to the back room with all the shit that's going on in his life, with him sleeping in the basement of his furniture store, of his shitty ass job, and him having a wife that's basically just, he spent all his money on getting her whatever education and helping her out and everything else, and them arguing, him separating. He's got a lot of shit going on in his life. I would have thought that once he walked into the back rooms and see how fucked up it is, he would leave and never come back in there, because any normal person going through that much shit to the point where they're sleeping at their job, you know what I'm saying, at their crappy ass job that nobody comes to their furniture store, would have been like, I don't need any more shit going on in my life. I'm good. Whatever this is, I don't want no more of this. I got enough crap going on in my life. What does he do though? None of that. He goes back there and gets to exploring these yellow rooms and corridors going right and left and everything else, and decides this is fascinating. He wants to prove it to somebody and get somebody to come through there. So that right there threw me the fuck off. Already right there. The next thing about this whole thing or whatever else is that, okay, he goes and gets Kat and Bobby, they get a camera and they want to bring it through, and they, you know what I'm saying, and Bobby dies and everything else, and he's still trying to prove to his therapist that somehow the back rooms is real and everything else. Now, here's my thing. I've said this before about movie reviews that I've said before. If a person who never says crazy shit to you comes to you and tells you something crazy, you should believe it. If they tell you, hey, this magic monkey paw can do whatever, or I saw an alien, a person who has always sounded normal and sane, who never says wild, crazy shit to you, suddenly tells you something crazy, believe them. Because why would y'all be like, hey, this thing right here is a portal to another dimension or whatever? Why would that person just say that stuff? You know, in the beginning of the movie, he's talking about his relationship with his wife. He's talking very normal, like a person who's going through shit and their marriage and everything else. He never says anything wild, crazy at all. So for him to come to his therapist with a folded up piece of paper that has like an outline of the back rooms and everything else and tells him there's a portal into the back room, for her to look at him crazy like that's not real, that couldn't possibly happen. It's crazy. That's the crazy part. Because had I been a therapist, friend, neighbor, anybody, and somebody who never comes to me and says crazy stuff, says here, there is a portal to another dimension in my basement or whatever else, I would go check the shit out. I'd be like, oh, okay, I believe you. And I would stand right there and go, oh, okay, so this is the portal to the back rooms. Cool, you go through it. I'm not doing that. But I wouldn't be like, oh, that's crazy, and just automatically discount them and not believe them. Unless you've ever acted weird or said anything strange or something like that, there's no way I wouldn't believe you. Why would I not believe you? That's the crazy part. Also, this movie, it's not creepy enough for me. I know this is supposed to be some sort of psychological thriller with like all sorts of whatever else, but him wandering to the back rooms, I thought the movie is just the back rooms. I didn't realize he left, came back in, and he did like a commercial inside of his furniture store and everything else. And I'm just like, I really would have thought that him discovering the back rooms and getting trapped in the back rooms would have been the whole movie, and him trying to figure out how to get out of the back room. And the back rooms just gets progressively weirder and stranger and everything else, and there should have been some sort of desperation to get out of the back rooms. But there was none of that, really. He seemed like he was cool with the back rooms and everything else and all that type of stuff. So and it's just like this movie just didn't grip me and enthrall me to pull my attention into this movie, because I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you guys. I fell asleep during this movie in the theater for about a good 12 minutes towards the end of this movie. I really was trying to keep my attention and pay attention to this movie, but like towards the end of the movie, for like I think a good 10-12 minutes, I fell asleep because I was just like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? He was creating like still life characters and everything else in the back room. There's like distorted people, and he's reaching into this one guy's body and pull out the guts and goes, "Oh, it's edible," and everything else. Like I was like, "What the fuck are we doing back here?" It was weird, fucking weird. And maybe it just didn't hit me like it did other people, because I remember when I was in a movie theater, there were people right next to me. They were jumping and it was scared, it was creepy. And then with the monster, it looked like Captain Clark came through, or people in the theaters, oh, scared and jumping. I was like, what are we doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I think should have happened with this movie, which would have made it 10 times fucking better. First of all, he should have got trapped in the back room. He shouldn't be able to go in and leave out. The portal to the back rooms in the basement of the furniture store should have been the portal, only way to get into it. It's not a way in and out. The entrance and the exit to the back room should be at separate points. That's the first thing. Finds there is a wall, whatever else he outlines that says I can get into this back room. He can't get back out. So he can't go to the therapist. He can't go to his friends or whoever else, Cat and Bobby, none of that shit. Can't tell anybody because he's trapped in there. The entrance is the only way in, and he has to find the exit. There's another wall somewhere inside of the back rooms where he can escape and get back to reality, back to the real world. That should have been the movie right there. He walks in through this wall. He's in there. What the fuck is all this? There's yellow floors, walls, weird noises, furniture everywhere, stuff coming out of the walls, weird shit. That should have been him. Okay. He's trapped in there because he tries to press back against the wall to get back out to the real world. He can't do that. He has to find a different wall somewhere throughout this maze of back rooms that just keeps going on and on. So that should have been the movie. Him walking along, pressing the walls, trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of there. Second thing is, he should have realized that, number one, he can't tell time in the back room. There's no clocks, nothing around. There's no windows to see whether it's daylight or nighttime or whatever else. He should have realized that, okay, I have about 4 days without food or water, or I'm going to die in the back room. There needs to be some sort of panic going on that not only am I trapped back here, but there's no grocery stores, no snacks, no vending machines, nothing. I got to figure out how to get the fuck out of here in 4 days' time. And I can't tell time back here. There's no way to tell if it's daylight, night, how many hours I've been back here. He doesn't have a watch on, nothing. He can't tell how long he's been back, but he just knows, okay, if I'm back here long enough, if I'm back here more than 4 days, I'm going to die. I have no food, no water. That's the second thing. There should have been a level of panic, like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Third thing that should have been in this movie that would have really made this movie better is there should have been creatures walking the fuck around in the back. They should have been in the back of this movie just walking the fuck around. They're like they're lost and everything else, and they have to be creepy. And they're not trying to kill him. The first creatures that should have been back in there, it should have been like the Cenobites. They should have been those creepy looking creatures that hang around Pinhead and the Hellraiser movies. Those niggas should have been in this movie. They should have just been walking around. And they're not trying to kill you. They're just on some freaky shit. They're just walking the fuck around. They're following you. They're looking weird, looking creepy. Some of them got leather on. Some of them got fucking weird shit on their face. Crazy shit. They should just be walking around, being creepy, following you and everything else. The second creature should have been in the back room. Should have been the killer nurses from Silent Hill 2. They should have been back there, just posed up in the corner somewhere looking like a mannequin until they hear a noise. Then they're trying to beat your ass. They hear a noise, they come after you. It's straight up elbows, knees. They're trying to whoop your ass. So not only is he panicking, trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of here, he's got to do this shit quiet because some of these creatures are blocking the way. He has to figure out a way to get past them. They're in the rooms. They're following him. Like I said, the Cenobites would just be following him, looking creepy and everything else. The killer nurses want to beat his ass if they hear noises. There has to be some sort of stakes and panic. Some way to be like, I got to get the fuck up out of here, but how do I do that? Because this movie, I'm just like, I wouldn't have paid to see this movie in the theaters. I'm going to tell you that. I did. When it came out, I was so, like, I really wanted to watch it because everybody was talking about this movie and everything else. And I'm just like, oh, I got to go see this. I got to check it out. Backroom seems creepy. The idea of liminal spaces where there's just endless weird shit that connects to stuff or whatever else. I thought, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're like me, you've been online talking to other people about places like Mall World, which is this liminal space. Everybody seems to have this dream that we've all been there before, which is like a mall, basically. And the mall has everything connected to it. So you go further enough into the mall, it's connected to a grocery store. It's connected to an auto dealership. It's connected to everything else. You just keep going on and on. This mall has everything in it. And it just keeps going on and on. And none of it makes sense. You got elevators going up to the levels it shouldn't be able to go to and everything else. That is a liminal space. That's what this should have been. But in this space, this should have been weird enough where you have beings, creatures, people, whatever else, just wandering the fuck around in here. And you're trying to figure out, where do I get food, water? Where's the wall that I can pass through to get back to the real world? There needs to be real stakes and danger going on in here. And I just didn't feel that with this movie. And that's why for me, trying to keep my attention, it didn't do that, because I kind of dozed off for like a good 10 minutes toward the end of the movie. Like, what are we doing? And this is not anything against like the actors. The actors, you know what I'm saying, Renat Parsons, basically the actors, Chidowell Ejiofor, who plays the main character, and basically his therapist, played by Renat Renziv. Like, they're great actors. They really acted in this movie, did the best that they possibly could, and everything else. I just think that the person who made this movie and directed this movie, like, the stakes weren't big enough. Him going in and out of there or whatever, he 100% didn't have to go back into the back rooms at all. And I think that if you did it my way, where he's trapped in the back room, has to find a wall that he can pass through, plus he's got the killer nurses after him who want to beat his ass for making noise, plus you've got the crazy looking creatures from the Hellraiser movie, you know, following around looking creepy and everything else, and he has to rush through there, plus the panic of not knowing if it's day or night or whatever, how long you've been in there. He's getting thirsty and hungry and there's no food or water back there. That's the panic. And when he finally finds the wall that he can pass through to get back to the real world, then the story at the beginning with the whole shit going on with his wife and talking to his therapist, he would have a new lease on life. He'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I need to get my shit together. Maybe I should go back and talk to my wife and apologize and work some stuff out with her, because like there are far worse things in life than having your, you know, issues with your wife, whatever. Like his issues at the beginning of the movie with his wife that he goes to therapy for would seem so petty and nonsensical. You know what I'm saying? Like he would have a whole complete turnaround by the end of the movie. Like, oh, okay, shit, I should probably go fix my shit with my wife and get a real job and stop bitching about my job at my fucking furniture store, get a real job and fix my shit. That would have been a much better movie than the movie as they gave us. I will say, ladies and gentlemen, this movie probably should have went straight to streaming. I know this movie did pretty well and everything else. They had it grossed nearly 395 million worldwide on a budget under 10 million. So they did pretty fucking great and everything else. But my thing is, it shouldn't have done that, because this movie just wasn't that great. It wasn't. So for me, I would say the rewatchability is pretty low. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess if you saw it in a theater, you might have had a better experience than if you've seen this on streaming service or whatever. But it should have went straight to streaming. It should have been a one-time watch. You should probably watch it and be like, oh, okay, that was that. This is a movie that was also rated R for some stupid reason. I don't think it should have been rated R. I think because you needed either some real like kills in this movie. Like I said with my suggestion, if you had like the killer nurses from the Silent Hill movie or whatever else, like she would actually try to kill him, and maybe there's, you know, saying something happened. Maybe the main character, whatever, has to kill one of the killer nurses, or maybe has to kill one of the Cenobites walking around or whatever to escape, to get out of there, whatever. That's when you have an R-rated movie or whatever else. Them finding a headless body or whatever else, or some random creature that we never see on the screen murder Bobby or some shit like that. Like, I hate when they give it unnecessary ratings. This should not have been a rated R movie. There's some scenes you could have cut out and just kept it PG-13. I don't know. But I think that the scenes were kind of lame. I think that this is a very forgettable movie. I think for as far as this movie being an hour and 50 minutes, you easily could have cut this movie down some more. I think this movie was way too long. It really kind of dilly-dallied on a little bit. I really want this movie to be a bit shorter. I think if you ran the way my movie, way I brought up my suggestions of making the changes and everything else, you could have made it longer, because it would show the like back rooms being this endless liminal space. He would have to go through several different rooms and all these different areas and stuff like that, and get past all the crazy people back there wandering around, and maybe some creatures who want to fight him or whatever else, and some sort of epic battle or some shit like that. This was lame. Camera work for this was actually pretty good though, but still, I just did not feel this movie. I would say keep the first part, go with my suggestion for the middle of the movie. At the end, he comes out and he resolves the shit with his wife and everything else. He changes. So for this movie, I give it a C-. The only reason I didn't give it a D, because I feel like you could have watched this movie for one time on streaming services and it would have been okay. This is not the worst movie ever. It's just not living up to the hype of The Backrooms. Ooh, The Backrooms. If they ever decide to make a part 2 of this movie, I need bigger stakes. I need people to be trapped in the back rooms. I need them panicking, trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of there, if they ever make a Backrooms 2. So this is a C- movie right here. It's not anything you want to watch more than once. It's definitely not anything you want to pay for in the movie theaters or anything like that. But ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our second movie, Supergirl.
Hey, I was just touching base to see when you think you might be coming back. You know, I'm just worried that you're not going to find your stride here if you keep going off-world all the time, Kara. I'm worried you're not going to find your people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Clark. I have no people. promise wherever you are, buddy.
As I walk this land of road,
Crypto and I at least had each other.
I have visions of
Honestly, I thought we were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out. What can I do?
The Brickens carry the antidote on that person. He has 3 days.
You cannot give up on me.
It's the crime of the Yellow Hills. He murdered my innocent family.
Just do what I say. And don't die. This does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Stop. You're hurting my head.
now what becomes of the broken hearted. Who had loved now departed.
Revenge. It won't take your pain away.
Peace of mind, I'll be searching everywhere just to find someone who's here.
Your eyes are beautiful when you cry. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering.
There is no home without you, buddy.
Aren't you the ditz from that dive bar?
Funny. That's what I've been calling you.
Touche.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Supergirl. I'm going to give you guys a quick review on that. Ladies and gentlemen, a 2026 movie, runs about an hour and 50 minutes, PG-13. Stars Millie Alcock as Kara Zor-El. She was in House of the Dragon. She's fantastic in that movie as the young Rhaenyra. Jason Momoa plays Lobo. He's a great actor. He was in Aquaman, Minecraft, Fast X, Game of Thrones. He was also in The Justice. Fantastic actors. We got Eve Ridley plays Ruthie Knoll. You got David Cornsweet plays Superman. You got Matthew Assurance plays Krim. It was directed by Craig Gillespie. I actually like this movie. I went to go see this in the movie theaters also, and I actually went to go check some of the reviews and everything else. After this movie was after I watched this movie like a week after, whatever, everything else, this received like really bad reviews. I don't know what movie like they were watching and everything. This was fantastic. And part of the bad reviews is that people were making memes about Millie Alcock. They were saying that she wasn't right for Supergirl, and they were saying that she was ugly, and they were making memes about her, saying she looks like a retarded caveman. They were making all these stupid videos and everything else. They were, just making her look like a little short midget and everything else. And I don't understand the hate for this woman. I don't. I watched this movie and she had superior acting. The acting in this movie was fucking great. And as far as how she looks and everything else, I don't understand why you guys need like a gorgeous, beautiful Supergirl and everything else. I don't understand why superheroes need to be beautiful and gorgeous anyways. I really don't understand the need for that. Millie Alcock is not ugly. She's not some beautiful, gorgeous, like cover girl or whatever else, but she's not ugly. You know what I'm saying? If you see pictures of Millie Alcock, she has a bit of a strong jawline and she has like these sleepy blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? She's not ugly. I don't understand why everybody's saying she looks like a damn caveman. There are some scenes in the movies or whatever else where she had to have like a bit of a strong face on her. She was conveying emotion throughout her whole entire face for the scenes. Like one of the scenes, she flew up into orbit. She's screaming into the void of space, and that one little tear flies off her face. Like she had to show emotion in this movie, and she was showing emotion. Some people were just describing her as looking manly or ugly or like a cave woman or whatever else. And I just don't understand the hate. I think some of you guys are weirdos, to be honest with you. I think a lot of you guys are just fucking weirdos. You want a Superwoman or a Supergirl that you guys can goon to or whatever else. You guys are weird. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that I've been saying about, all the stuff that I have been seeing about her looks and everything else, how she's not right for this. They've been mocking her for being short. She's a good 5'4", 5'5". She's short. She's in the movie. She plays a 23-year-old girl just kind of living her life or whatever else, going off world, doing things, whatever she wants to drink and party, enjoy her 20s. In real life, she's 26. I don't get what y'all think she's ugly or whatever else. But also, I think that she had great acting in this movie. She conveyed the emotion she needed to convey for this movie or whatever else. Towards the end of the movie, she stabs Krim twice. One for her dog being captured and poisoned and everything else, and one for the other girl, Ruthie Knoll, who had her parents killed and everything else. And she conveyed the emotion of getting vengeance, getting her revenge and everything else. And she did that. Her being on the planet where the green sun was killing her slowly. She conveyed the emotion of her, slowly about to die from the radiation from the green sun and everything else. Like, she did very good acting in this movie. I just don't understand the hate. I don't understand what movie other people were watching. I will say, some of the other people in this movie, like Eve Ridley, who played Ruthie Knoll, she was excellent as like the co-star or whatever in this movie. She was actually pretty good. She was pretty badass in this movie. She didn't take any shit. She carried a sword. She wanted to revenge and everything else. She was actually trying to convince Supergirl that, yeah, I really should get my revenge back for the guy who killed my parents. Jason Momoa plays Lobo. Lobo was fantastic in this movie. I don't get why he didn't have more scenes, more stuff to do with this whole movie. He's supposed to be a bounty hunter and everything else. Like, that should have been the beginning of the movie. Supergirl teaming up with Lobo to go, it just should have been a whole, like a trio. It should have been all three of them going off to go find this type of shit to get these bad guys. The only thing I didn't like was Matthew Insurance, who plays Krim. Krim and his little group of, I forgot the name of the little group of the people who were going around doing all the bad shit, weren't bad guying enough for me. I don't. They didn't look tough. They looked weird. They just had like these outfits on. None of them were like metahumans and had superpowers, nothing like that. They were just a bunch of dudes who were just going around doing bad shit. They killed some people, whatever else. They shot her dog and everything else. And I was like, okay, but she could have killed them easily. I'm like, and I get throughout the movie, they kept trying to depower her to kind of show like, okay, well, her getting her powers back and coming into her being a Supergirl and everything else. But I was like, bad guys aren't that tough. They just look weird. I wasn't feeling Krim. He was just creepy. He wasn't like nothing tough. I don't know. There was appearances from the new Superman, David Corn Sweat. I like the Superman movie. I like him having his appearance in this movie, just like Millie Alcock as Supergirl had an appearance in the Superman movie at the end. I think he's the most relatable Superman we have so far right now. I've seen Superman movie. He was excellent in that one. He's relatable. It seems like a normal guy. You know what I'm saying? He definitely is believable as somebody who is a Kryptonian who was born and raised on Earth. He's just like a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we need with these superheroes. I don't need them to be, over the top with the attitude and the looks and everything else. Just give me a regular person who has superpowers, just wants to do the right thing. I don't know. I think some people who are judging these movies a little too hard or whatever else, you guys are weirdos. Now, there is the Supergirl TV series, right? I think it's on the CW or whatever else. That lady who was on there, whatever, she's a very beautiful, good-looking woman who plays Supergirl for the TV series for, I think, the CW or whatever else. That's what I think a lot of people wanted to be for Supergirl for this one. That, a bit taller, much more good looking and everything else, sexy body and everything else. I don't get why y'all were worried about that. This is a PG-13 movie. This is a movie that you could have took your family to and everything else and watched it. I don't know why you need an absolute babe in this movie or whatever else. The storyline, the acting, all of that should have been what people are concerned about. And she did very good at acting. And I hope Millie Alcock gets more roles. She's a very good actress. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I first seen her when she was in House of the Dragon and she played a young version of Rhaenyra, and she did actually a really good job with that. So I liked the movie. I thought it was a great movie and everything else. There's a couple of things I would change about the movie. The A plot and the B plot could change. I think that her getting her dog and everything else, trying to save her dog. I get why she wants to save her dog and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because like her dog's the last thing she has from Krypton when the whole situation happened with that and all that. But when she come across the little girl who wants help to get revenge because these guys are killing people, and also in the background, there's like kidnapping girls for like child brides, and there's like trafficking going on. And I'm just like, I would think she would be like, oh yeah, I definitely got to stop that shit. So I think that should have been like the A plot. Like, okay, maybe nothing happens to her dog, and she comes across this girl, and she needs help and everything else, and then she helps her. Like, I just don't get why that was like the B plot that was in the background. And we're like, oh, okay, well, let's also stop trafficking of young girls and everything else and child brides while, you guys are trying to revenge the death of this girl's parents, and also, but most importantly, her dog, you know what I'm saying, was poisoned and everything. One thing I want to say about the dog never looks real. I don't understand what was going on. This is a very expensive movie to make and everything. They had all sorts of special effects to make it look as if Millie Alcock's Supergirl had superpowers. She could fly, she was floating, she was turning dramatically, she was shooting lasers out of her eyes. The special effects for her and her abilities looked fantastic. So I don't get why when it comes to the dog, you couldn't animate a dog. The dog should be a real dog. And then when the dog does super shit like fly or whatever else, then you could just CGI some of that shit. But the whole thing, the dog never looks real. It doesn't. It definitely looks like it's green screen CGI and a bunch of other shit going on. It does not look real. The dog doesn't look real, which is one of the reasons it took me out of the whole emotional thing with her dog and all that, because I'm just like, you're not really holding a dog. Dog doesn't look real. And I would know that. I have 3 little dogs at home. None of those dogs, the dog in the movie does not look real. It definitely looks fake. Definitely looks added in. Doesn't look real. And it just like, I don't genuinely care about the whole thing with her dog, obviously. So those are just the things that I would think. I think we need more screen time for Lobo. I think that the A and B plot should kind of switch or whatever else, that maybe nothing happens to her dog and maybe we just come across a Supergirl who wants to like get involved to help somebody or whatever else and stop this Prim and his little gang of thugs, whatever, from like killing people and taking girls and trafficking and shit like that. Probably do that. One of the scenes that they can get rid of is the whole Kryptonian language shit that they showed like a good 5 to 6 minutes or whatever else of like this fake language of Kryptonian they're talking. We needed none of that. None of that. All of that could have been in English. All of that could have been shorter. The whole shit took me out. Not that I'm opposed to watching something in a foreign language or reading subtitles. I'm not against any of that. I have watched foreign movies. I've read subtitles and everything else. But for this movie, I didn't need y'all to speak in Kryptonian. Y'all could have spoken English, and it should have been implied that they're speaking their own language because they're on their own planet or whatever else. Y'all didn't need to be like, oh, we're on a different planet. They're speaking their language. This is what it sounds like. This is how Kryptonians are. We didn't need any of that. Either get rid of the whole scene and just have the main character verbally tell us what happened or whatever else, or you can illustrate that, kind of show it in English. Just real quick, explain it. There's no need to speak in a foreign language. It throws me off. I just don't like that. I don't like when any movie or TV series does that either. They've been happening also. Like I watch Star Trek, and I've seen people do that before too. Star Trek Discovery started off with like the first few episodes of Klingon speaking nothing but Klingon and subtitled in English and everything. I'm like, why are y'all doing that? Just speak in English. We understand that it's implied that they're speaking their own language, and we, the viewers, are tuning in and listening to what they're saying. We don't need to actually hear it in their foreign language. Shit threw me off. So this movie was good though. It was okay. Like I said, there's a few things I would change about this movie. I really think that the B plot should be stressed. I really think that I should get rid of the Kryptonian language when it comes to that part. I think you should make the dog look real. Get a real actual dog, and when it does super shit, all you have to do is just do whatever your AI CGI shit you can do to make the dog like it's flying or doing some super shit. But get a real dog. Dog never looks real. It looks creepy. It looks very uncanny valley. I didn't like that shit. I think people need to get off of Millie Alcock's, you know what I'm saying, about her looks and everything else. She's not an ugly woman at all. You know, she's a very normal looking woman. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with the way she looks. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with her having a bit more of a pronounced jawline and those sleepy blue eyes that she has and everything else. She conveys a lot of emotion in her face throughout this movie. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to look easy breezy cover girl throughout the whole movie trying to convey pain or stress or whatever she's doing. So I don't get why people are like, oh, she's ugly. She looks like a cave woman and everything else. Y'all are weird for wanting a Supergirl you can go into. This is a family movie. It's rated PG-13 for a movie, so for a reason, so that people can bring their families to this movie to go watch Supergirl. And last but not least, I just want to get on the rating. I think that superhero movie, and I've been saying this before in other podcasts that I've done, I think superhero movies should be rated R. And I think they should make a very long version of the movie, a good 3.5, 4 hour long, like, I don't know, maybe like a Zack Snyder's director's cut, that type of version, the same thing they did with Justice League or whatever else, a full version that they cut down to a theatrical version. There should be a longer, fuller version where there are actual kills and things like that that's rated R. And they should cut it down to a good 2 hour movie for the theaters. All the stuff they cut out, edit out, so they can at least make that, you know, PG-13 rating. But then after they make their money off of the theatrical version, then they can actually show the full version like they did with Justice League. And people would watch that because there were actual real kills and longer scenes and more stuff explained and everything else. Cool. I think they should do that with superhero movie, because we don't always want to see a superhero movie where a person picks up a sword and stabs somebody, but there's no blood, or it's implied that you stabbed them. You don't actually see them stabbing or whatever else. And it's just like, come on. Don't even put it in the movie if you're not going to actually show that. But that is my quick review of Supergirl. Like I said, I still think it was a good movie and everything else. The rewatchability of this movie was actually pretty good. I could rewatch it over and over again. It's not that bad. I give it a B-. It's not an A movie because there are a few things I would take out of it and everything else, but I give it a good B-. You could watch this movie over and over again. I think it's a pretty good movie. I think Millie Alcock's acting was fantastic. I think Lobo needed more screen time. He was actually pretty good in this movie, but he's pretty good in every movie, actually. Krim, the bad guys weren't bad guying enough for me. They need to have some sort of abilities. Maybe they need to look better. They look weird. They look, I don't know, the suits and the piercings and all that type of shit. The whole Mad Max attire shit, it really took me out. I'm like, I don't know whose idea that was. That was weird as fuck, but okay. Next movie we want to get into, ladies and gentlemen, Super Mario Galaxy.
Hey, big guy! Oh, you wanted to see us?
Don't move, I'll be right up. Sipping the soup, cleaning the paint, boodle-doo, boodle-doo, and also trim the bonsai bush. Here we go. Hey, Luigi! What's up, Mario? Behold! I made a masterpiece for Princess Peach. What do you think?
Love the colors.
It's trash.
How dare you look at my masterpiece and say that?
I'll burn the skin off your bones!
Wow. Sorry about that. That's the old Bowser talking. Still working through my demons, I suppose. Anyway, I need my 8 hours or else I really turn into a monster.
I'm Bowser Jr., and I'm gonna be taking my father now!
Princess Rosalina, you're coming with me!
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that is Super Mario Galaxy. This is a 2026 movie, runs about 1 hour 39 minutes. It is PG. It stars Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr. It stars Brie Larson as Rosalina. Brie Larson is a very good looking one, very pretty. She was in Captain Marvel. She would play Captain Marvel. That was a fantastic movie. Go watch that one. She was in The Marvels. She was in the movie The Room. It was a very good dramatic movie. Kong Skull Island. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Avengers Endgame. She's been in a lot of good movies. So she is a very good actress. Fantastic as voice actor for Rosalina. Jack Black, he plays Bowser. He's a very good voice actor and actor himself. He's been in a lot of good movies and stuff like that. Chris Pratt plays Mario. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy and Tomorrow War. And Charlie Day plays Luigi, directed by Michael Lilinick and Aaron Harper. Quick rundown of this movie, ladies and gentlemen. Super Mario movie finds that Mario and Luigi solving everyday problems in the Mushroom Kingdom with their let's go attitude. They meet a new friend in Yoshi, try to perform a miniaturized Bowser, and eagerly looks forward to Peach's birthday party. A call for help sends the new crew across the galaxy to find new worlds, unexpected threats, and iconic characters like Rosalina and Bowser Jr. This movie was fantastic. I really liked this movie. It was hilarious. I know that the critics are going to say, oh, the storyline. The storyline didn't need to make sense as a PG movie about Super Mario characters. Shit was hilarious. It traveled through space. It was a spaceship. It was robots. It was hilarious. Me and my son watched this movie. My son, King Dominic, who's also the other podcaster on the show, he thought it was hilarious. We laughed our heads off. We had a lot of fun with this movie. It was very colorful. Lots of animation. In the Mushroom Kingdom, the toadstools were fucking hilarious. All of this shit was funny. I loved it. It was fantastic. It was very high rewatchability for me. I would definitely recommend this movie and rewatch it. It was very funny. I do think that Bowser Jr. was funny. I think any miniature person with a whole lot of toughness and attitude, I love that. It's super funny. I think seeing that Bowser being shrunk and still having an attitude, but then trying to be soft and gentle and everything else so that, you know what I'm saying, he can get himself possibly turned back into a regular size Bowser. The movie was fucking hilarious. I think for this movie, the only change I would really make is that Princess Peach and Rosalina, instead of being sisters, should have been mother and daughter. Because, you know, there was like a flashback sequence of when they're growing up. Like, Rosalina is way older than Princess Peach and everything else. And it would have made more sense for her to go try to get her mother back. I just thought, okay, well, I get that Rosalina is like the guardian of the galaxy or whatever else. And like Princess Peach of the, you know what I'm saying, Mushroom Kingdom. But the storyline didn't need to be important. Just the adventure and the fun and all that sort of thing. The comedic fun parts of the whole movie and everything else. It's just a fun movie to watch. Very enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good, hilarious scenes. It doesn't need to have a good, solid storyline. We're not tuning into the Mario Brothers for that. The first one was good. This one was even better. So that's my review for that. That's what I think about this movie. I think it was good. I think it was silly and fun. I think the camera work for this is very good. There's good dramatic music that was played. Scenes were fantastic. The animation looks really good. I didn't see anything that I thought was weird about the animation or anything. It was fantastic. The opening scene where you had, I believe it was Rosalina showing off magic wand and shit and all the stuff she does as she battles the robot. Funny as fuck. I just think it was a very funny movie. If you just want to have a good movie to sit down and enjoy with familiar characters from the Nintendo games and stuff like that, very good movie to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? It's spaceships. It's traveling through space. The little star kids are fucking hilarious and all that. It's very funny. Very enjoyable movie. For this movie, I would give it an A-. And I'm only taking off an A- because I do think that, you know, the character of Rosalina and Princess Peach or whatever else, it should be switched to mother-daughter instead of sister. Because it's just age difference is so weird. It should have been like, oh, she's trying to get her mother. It should have been something like that. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be canon to whatever video game or whatever, you know, none of that. It just needs to be something that much more higher stakes. Like she's trying to go get her mother, her auntie, somebody like that instead of her. It would have made more sense that way. But other than that, the whole relationship between Bowser Jr. and Bowser and them getting back together, and clearly they get back together and everything else. And then Bowser realizes that, okay, he doesn't want to go after and take over the world and all that type of things. And he tries to reform his son, Bowser Jr. And I just think it was fantastic. It was very fun. Very fun. I recommend it. I give it an A-. Next movie, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to get into is Redux, Find, Kill, Repeat.
I've been traveling in different parallel universes looking for my daughter. Looking for a world where she wasn't kidnapped and murdered. She's been dead in all of them. So I just keep killing the bastard who did this to her. He's taken everything from me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Redux, Find, Kill, Repeat. 2025 movie, runs about an hour and 49 minutes, rated R. It stars Michaela McManus as Irene Kelly, Stella Marcus as Mia, and Jeremy Holm as Neville. Directed by Matthew McManus and Kevin McManus. This was a very good action-packed movie. Very good drama in this movie. Fantastic. I recommend this. This movie has a woman who is basically trying to avenge her daughter's death, and she has a machine that allows her to travel through parallel universes. She is going through parallel universes trying to find a universe where basically her daughter's murderer didn't murder her daughter. Let me give you guys a quick rundown about this. Attempt to avenge her daughter's death, Irene travels through parallel universes, killing her daughter's murderer over and over again. She grows addicted to a revenge streak, putting her own humanity in jeopardy. I completely get this movie. I get this movie. This is excellent as an action and sci-fi and drama movie of her being like, okay, her daughter was abducted and murdered and everything else. And so she wants to go ahead and avenge her daughter's death. So she keeps traveling to try to find a universe where her daughter is alive and she wasn't captured. But in every universe, her daughter is dead. So she goes and she basically finds the guy who did it to her daughter, the guy who basically her daughter's murder and everything else, and she just blickies him right in the fucking face. And so when the movie begins and they see her in the diner or whatever else, she just out in front of everybody just shoots the cook. You know, the cook was Neville, and then another universe, the Neville is the waiter or whatever else, and she keeps going to every different universe doing this. The time travel device that she has looks like a coffin. She gets in the thing, dials it up, goes to the next universe or whatever else. This was a very good movie. It's also a very good looking movie too, because just like the shift between the galaxies looked good and everything else, where she just popped out of it, just like an explosion where she basically burst out of whatever she was into and gets into the next reality. Her having a lot of close calls. There are a lot of close calls where she had to get back to that, basically that parallel universe time traveling machine and everything else, and she almost didn't get it. You know, there's a couple of them where she had it inside of like the hotel motel room or whatever else, and she had to get back to the hotel room because the police were after her. She had it inside of like a truck or a van or something like at one point. She had to get back to that. Excellent movie. Along the way, she saves another girl because Neville in another parallel universe or whatever else grabs another girl named Mia, and basically he saves her life, and Mia wants revenge too. And so now you have the lead character, Irene, trying to tell Mia, like, you don't want this. You don't want to be traveling, trying to get revenge or whatever else, because now she feels like she's a bit addicted to it, because she realized there's not a universe where her daughter is still alive, and that Neville is, and that's pissing her off. And I completely understand that. Because somebody abducted your daughter and killed your daughter, and you had a time traveling device go trying to find a universe where your daughter's still alive, and in every universe your daughter is dead but the child's killer is alive, you would kill him every single time. Every single time you see him, it would be on site. I absolutely totally get that. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, she did find a universe where her daughter was still alive. In the end, she did help Mia get revenge, you know, against her killer and everything else. But it was, again, that was another close call, because the killer almost drowned both of them. He got them by the lake and everything else, had them tied up. Just very intense movie. Very intense movie. I liked every aspect of it. The drama parts about it, the action part, the shootouts, her desperately trying to get back to her time travel device and almost not even making it, almost getting caught by the police. It was crazy. Excellent movie. Michaela McManus, very good looking woman. She is awesome as an action star in this movie. The acting was fantastic. I give this movie an A. I can't find anything that I would discount for this movie. I can't take anything off of this movie or anything else. I think it's fantastic. I think the length of the movie, running an hour 49 minutes, is fantastic. I could have dealt with 10-15 more minutes of this movie. That would have helped too. That would have been nice to get 10-15 more minutes of this movie, but at an hour 49, that's still fantastic. That's still good. Very good rewatchability. I would definitely watch this movie over again. The kills, the close calls, all of that was excellent. The effects of the machine basically exploding and then shifting into another parallel reality looked really good. The time travel coffin that she was in and everything, it didn't look flashy and shiny. It didn't look weird. It just looked like a piece of machinery. There was nothing very, distracting about it, which I liked about that too, that it wasn't some sort of weird contraption. It was just like she got into it, slid into it, and got moving. There was no emphasis on the time travel device. So I think this was a fantastic movie. I recommend Redux. The movie is Find, Kill, Repeat. Excellent movie. Very understandable why she would be doing these things. It's good as a sci-fi movie. It's good as a drama movie, action movie. Gentlemen. Next movie, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
There's some shit that's about to come down that I can't prepare you for. It's gonna try to give you everything you ever wanted. But in the end, it will all be a lie. Are any of you even listening to me?
I traveled here today to tell you that things do not go well for you in the future.
But tonight we got a shot. There is the perfect configuration of people in this diner that can save humanity.
What happens if we fail?
I really don't like to say it out loud. It's kind of a morale killer. Somewhere inside of you, you know the way things are, the way we're heading, the way people are with each other. You know the world's going to shit. What means the damn is you people choosing to come along for this ride because you see the writing on the wall and you're ready to wake up and do something about it.
There is a chance you will die tonight.
Those are real bullets!
But I truly believe you could be the group that saves the fucking world.
This is real. Pretty much, yeah. Whoa, what the fuck?
Their entire lives have been building to this night. It's gonna be okay. Or it's not. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. 2025 movie runs 2 hours, 14 minutes, rated R. Stars Sam Rockwell. He was in Green Mile and Iron Man 2. Is a fantastic actor, very funny, very interesting, good at his job. Zazie Beetz plays Janet. She has been in a dozen movies. She was in movies like They Will Kill You and a bunch of other movies. She's very beautiful, very talented. Michael Pena plays Mark. He's one of the most underrated movie actors of all time. He was in Ant-Man, Extinction, and Working Man, and a bunch of other movies. This man is fantastic, excellent actor. Go watch every movie that he's in. Ladies and gentlemen, quick rundown of this movie. It says a man claiming to be from the future recruits an unlikely group of diner patrons to join him on a genre-defying adventure to save humanity from the perils of social media brain rot and the impending AI apocalypse. Gonzo mayhem and eye-popping action ensues. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen so far, actually. They had a little bit of everything in this one. This was very funny, you know what I'm saying? It's very good. It's a sci-fi movie and everything else. It is poking fun at reality because basically it's talking about brain rot and basically how we're dealing with teenagers and young people basically just staring at their phones all the time. And what if it controlled people, controlled their minds? What if it had mind control abilities to it and everything else? What if it destroyed the future? I think this movie is fucking excellent. I think it's fantastic. Sam Rockwell really sold this movie. It's like the crazy guy. He had like this contraption on his suit. He walks through pretending it's a bomb. You know what I'm saying? He's going to blow people up if he doesn't get his way or whatever else. He looks crazy and he sounds crazy. And he's trying to convince a room full of people at a diner like, hey, we got to form this team to like advance for the future and shit like that. Fucking hilarious. Opening scene of this movie is fucking hilarious. I loved all of this movie. I love the aspect of like, okay, it's dealing with the AI. It's dealing with like people on their phones because when they went into the flashbacks for each one of these people, especially for like Zazie Beetz' character and Michael Pena's character of Janet and Mark and everything else, they work in the school and they see how basically the cell phones are caused like the young people at the schools and everything else to act weird and have basically no idea where they're at or what they're doing if it doesn't have anything to do with phones. There's like a mind control aspect to it where they have like all the teenagers basically following people around and basically trying to get at them. They have people with VR headsets on, trapped in some sort of world or whatever else, and they're viewing it as some sort of drug because there's a picture of a guy in the alley. He's got a VR headset on. He looks strung out. It's very funny, but it's very satirical. It's very much pointing at the reality that we live in right now where people are just heads into their phones. They can't think straight, doing silly shit. The bad guy in this movie is a little 9-year-old kid who's like the father of AI. He's like controls machines and he's doing mind control through AI, through the systems and everything else. The special effects towards the end where they had like the wires creating a tornado and everything else. Very good special effects. This movie just visually is beautiful. It's very funny too. It's definitely a movie you could watch over and over again. The scenes are epic, very much epic. The length of this movie, 2 hours 14 minutes, is excellent because it gets to everything, and that's just the right amount of time for this movie and everything. I couldn't see this movie being any shorter than that. I will say the rating is good. I will say there are quite a bit of things in here where people do get shot and killed and died and everything else. It was crazy. Very unique, amazing storyline. I would definitely check out this movie. I give it an A+. I think it's fantastic. I can't see anything wrong with this movie. I think it's fantastic. Great acting on all the actors and everything else. Storyline is unique, fun to watch. Very good movie. Next movie we'll get into, ladies and gentlemen, is They Will Kill You. They Will Kill You.
The Virgil was built in 1923. Today, it's one of the most exclusive buildings in Manhattan.
Hi, I'm the new maid.
With such wealth comes the expectation of the highest quality of service.
It's a lot of lux.
This building is a temple to Satan. Each month we must pay with a human sacrifice. Tonight, you are the offering.
Gotcha.
You little shit! There has to be a way out of here.
The building was designed to be a death trap.
Our offering is on the loose. Be on the lookout. I just dropped her picture in the group chat.
Fuck you.
No, fuck you.
No, bitch. Fuck you.
Fuck you!
I don't know what is going on in here. But pray, I am in a forgiving mood. Who the fuck are you?
Where did you learn how to fight like that?
Prison.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is They Will Kill You. 2026 movie runs 1 hour 34 minutes. Rated R, starring Zazie Beetz, plays Asia Reeves. She was in Deadpool 2, The Harder They Fall. She was in Bullet Train. She played a part in Invincible animated series. Fantastic actress. Beautiful, very sexy, very talented. I like Zazie Beetz. I wish she could star in everything. There was Heather Graham, very talented actress too. She plays Sharon Vanderbilt. She was in The Hangover and Austin Powers. Very good movies. There was Patricia Arquette. She plays Lily Woodhouse. She was in Severance, Medium, Little Nicky, and Stigmata. I like Patricia Arquette. I think she's a very good actress. She looks fantastic. She's 60 years old. She is beautiful. As a good looking woman. I don't know what she's doing, but at 60 years old, she looks fantastic. This was directed by Kirill Sokolov. This movie is one of the best action horror movies I've seen in a long time. This is an excellent fucking movie. Go watch this movie. Definitely. I would have liked to see this movie in the theaters. I had seen it on a streaming service and everything. I would have loved to see this in the theaters and everything else, because this, I would have got much more of the effect of like the sound and the visual with the screen being large and right in front of my face. But on streaming services, it's still pretty good. Excellent movie. I will say that the movie really does get me with Zazie Beetz basically being beautiful, sexy, and not being the type of person who doesn't want to show off like her beautiful face and nice body and everything else. So one of the aspects of the movie is her fighting and next to nothing. That's fine. I think that's fantastic that she agreed to do that. And it made sense in the movie too, because in the movie, when they first tried to attack her in her bedroom, she was getting ready for bed. So she's basically in a tight t-shirt and her panties fighting. So, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they're going to open up the scene in the hallway somewhere where she's walking and she's fighting fully clothed. No, she basically is fighting, you know what I'm saying, in her underwear, which is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, to give you guys a quick rundown about this movie. They Will Kill You unleashes a blood-soaked, high-octane horror action comedy in which a young woman must survive the night at the Virgil, a demonic cult's mysterious, twisted death trap of a lair, before becoming their next offering in a uniquely brazen battle of epic skills and wickedly dark humor. So they're at the Virgil, this big hotel or whatever in Manhattan, and everything else is also where a fucking death cult, satanic death cult exists. And so some of the people who come there, they become an offering to Satan. They go to this one area in the basement or whatever it may be. There's like a pig skull. It's got names written all over the pig's head and everything else. And basically you write your name on it. You make an offering. They make you immortal. Basically, you can't die. No matter what happens to you, you can't die. And so the aspect of that showing up early in the movie really threw me the fuck off, because I did not know what this movie was about at the beginning when I saw this and everything else. So when these guys try to come in her room and they're being creepy and shit, and then, you know what I'm saying, she gets into the closet, comes out, starts killing these guys or whatever in her underwear and all that, I thought, damn, okay, she just killed these guys. It's over with. She's being trapped there. She's just there to rescue her sister, who ended up there at the Virgil. So she found out where her sister has been at after all these years, because they got separated. They had an abusive father who was basically trying to do things to them and everything else. And so she ended up, Asia Reeves, the older sister played by Zazie Beetz, ended up shooting their stepfather or whatever he may be. And she ends up going to prison for a short while. And so when she gets out or whatever else, her sister, you know what I'm saying, eventually gets away from the stepdad or whatever, ends up going to the Virgil. She ends up working there as service staff and everything else. And as she's working there as service staff and everything else, her sister, played by Zazie Beetz, ends up tracking her down, finds out where she worked at and everything else, wants to attempt to get her sister up out of there. She did not know that, okay, her sister was supposed to be the next sacrifice for this satanic cult or whatever it may be. So that was crazy in itself. That, okay, you go there, you get locked in, she finds her sister doesn't want to go because her sister's like, hey, I signed up for this whole thing or whatever else. She wants to be immortal, she wants to make a sacrifice, and now that kind of fucked up her whole plan and everything else. I will say the action sequences for this movie are fantastic. Having a flaming axe, her having a fucking machete, her shooting people with a shotgun, blasting people's heads clean off, all sorts of stuff. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. There was so much stuff you couldn't even show in the trailers for this movie when it originally came out and everything else. There's like action stuff you couldn't show in the trailers because she just chopped people's heads off. There was a dining room scene and she set everything on fire. She jumped through a table. She broke a table in half, jumped through it, had a flaming axe, chopped somebody in half with that. It's crazy. And so there's these levels to this hotel area she has to go through, and every level there's different people there trying to capture her and make her as the sacrifice. And so this was just bananas all the way around. Just crazy fight scenes, good action. Some of this is very Quentin Tarantino style, where there was like hard zooms in and the panning and everything else. So the camera work for this movie was excellent. Some people are not going to like that. I did. If you're not a fan of like Quentin Tarantino or any of that type of like Kill Bill style camera work and stuff like that, I liked it. I thought it was fantastic. Very good. Camera work is very unique. Storyline was very good. Everything made sense. There was like quick flashbacks to stuff, but then like they didn't like dilly-dally and hang out on that part. They just went back and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, this is why that happened. So they quickly went back and show her like the prison fighting scene where every day she's fighting in prison and everything else, so she developed her fighting skills. Made sense. So there's like quick flashbacks where they kind of just explained some shit and then went on with the movie. I like that too, because this movie was a tight 90 minutes. You got a lot of action, a lot of storyline going. You got everything in like a nice 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Now, for this movie, I could have dealt with a good 15, 20 minutes more of this movie, but I think a tight 90 minutes of this constantly getting on with whatever it's supposed to be doing is fantastic. I don't like a movie that kind of just hangs on too long about something. This movie really got on with it, and I like that. It's like, okay, this happened, and then this happened, and then it's like, oh, if it needs an explanation, we went back a few minutes and showed you, hey, this is the reason why she can fight this good. This is the reason why the younger sister is there, and that type of stuff that just kind of went on like that. So the pacing of the movie was fantastic. The action was all of it. The only thing I didn't like about this movie, and it doesn't detract from the movie, it is personal annoyance to me. Patricia Arquette plays Lily Woodhouse, and she has an Irish accent. She's married to a black man, and her Irish accent was so bad. I just think they just could have went without the whole fake Irish accent. I know she was trying to play an Irish woman in this movie. She's horrible at it. Her Irish accent was so bad. And I just like they could have left that out. It didn't detract from the movie because the movie, her acting was still good. She still did a good job acting. At the end of the movie, she ends up putting the pig's head on top of her head, and it gave her certain abilities. So she took a sword, and there's like a sword fighting scene at the end between Patricia Arquette as Lily Whitehouse and Zazie Beetz as Asia Reeves, and it was just fantastic. I just think her accent, whenever she had lines or she was talking whatever else, I was just like, she's going back and forth between a person who speaks regular, normal American English and a person who's trying to speak with an Irish accent. Just don't do the Irish accent. Just don't do it. You needed vocal training. You need much more hours of training to do an Irish accent. You just were like, oh, this is what I think an Irish accent sounded like. It sounded mockingly. You were mocking someone who has actual Irish accent. That took me. I mean, it doesn't detract from the movie, but that's just for me that I noticed that was a bit annoying for me. I was just like, don't do the accent. And that's what some actors who they think they're doing the accent or whatever else, and they're not doing. But overall, very good movie, good action, everything else. I give this movie most definitely an A+. I can't think of anything wrong with this movie. There's a very high rewatchability of this movie. That you could watch this movie anytime over and over, and you're going to get exactly what you want out of it. You're going to want plenty of nonstop action. You're going to want excellent kills. You're going to get a creepy storyline of like, this is a satanic cult. There's some funny parts in the movie. And you also get Zazie Beetz in her underwear, whooping everybody's ass with her nipples hard. Excellent movie. Fantastic. So I really enjoyed it. I recommend They Will Kill You. Next up on our list, ladies and gentlemen, Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2.
Uno mas, thanks.
You're Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
They should do a reboot.
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s. Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight. Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Where the hell am I?
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Fuck that. This is a war for the fate of your world. You dickheads in or what? I'm not some champion. I don't have transformer arms. Or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
There's a war going on outside. You could run, but you can't hide forever, ever.
It's time to become the hero you were meant to be.
All right, you big ugly fuck. It's showtime.
Get over here!
Only the strong survive.
Freeze him!
Are you shitting me? You don't have any powers? Just incredibly handsome.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mortal Kombat 2, ladies and gentlemen. 2026 movie. The length of the movie is 1 hour 56 minutes. Rated R. Stars Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. He was in The Boys, Riddick. He was in Thor, Ragnarok. He was in a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Great actor. Also stars Adeline Rudolph as Katana. Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade. Marlon Ford as Shao Kahn. Tati Gabriel as Jade. She was in You, Last of Us, and The 100. So Tati Gabriel is very beautiful, very good actress. I love seeing her in different types of things. Fantastic. They got Louis Tan as Cole Young and Josh Lawson as Kano. Lewis Tan as Cole Young. I didn't like the whole idea of just adding a random character. He's not an original Mortal Kombat character or anything like that. So just adding Cole Young to this whole thing from Mortal Kombat 1, the one before this one, I wasn't into that whole idea. Y'all could have had any other real actual character from the actual series and make the story from that. He was just I didn't give a fuck about that character. And then like his special abilities is he has like this reflective armor that absorbs energy and some shit like that. I was like, whatever. Fuck that guy. So I don't know. There's nothing against the actor Lewis Tan. I'm pretty sure he gave it his best and did what he could to act the role of Cole Young and everything else. But I was just like, you're not really a part of Mortal Kombat. Adding this new character did nothing for him. I wasn't into that. Josh Lawson plays Kano. I think that guy is hilarious. Very, very funny guy. Very good acting on behalf of Josh Lawson. This movie was directed by Simon McQuaid. Very good movie. The guy who plays Shao Kahn, Martin Ford, he's a very big guy. So this is not like CGI acting, whatever. In real life, like Martin Ford is a really big fucking guy. So they picked the right kind of guy to play Shao Kahn, a big muscle-bound bald guy to play this movie. So he's a real big dude. So good on them for coming up with an actual guy who actually fits the description. Very good. I will say Mortal Kombat 2 compared to Mortal Kombat 1 was way better because this one actually had a tournament and they actually showed up on the movie. They were like, these 5 people against these 5 people, fight to the death and everything else. Even though some of the brackets, when people were fighting against other people, they didn't actually fight to the death and everything else. Because when Katana went up against Johnny Cage, he didn't actually fight him to the death. I was like, okay, cool. I guess we're just not going to fight people to the death, even though Mortal Kombat is a tournament to the death. I guess not. I mean, there was a reason for it because later on, of course, Johnny Cage had pretty much saved the day and all that type of shit. I will say with some of the characters in this movie, Johnny Cage played by Carl Urban, I didn't like that at all. I didn't. I just think that some of the shit about this didn't really go well with me. Number one, Carl Urban is not a martial artist. I just don't understand. I'm pretty sure they taught him how to fight in the movie and do some stuff like that, but a lot of stuff like wire work and CGI and shit like that, he's not a martial artist. So all these like cartwheels and flips and shit that look retarded or whatever else, I was like, he's not really doing that shit. Second thing is he's a middle-aged man playing a middle-aged man who used to be a great big deal in the martial arts movie world or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about, it was a big star back in the 90s. It's 2026 right now. So, but I think the most egregious thing that happens with this guy is that basically in this movie, he can't speak in an American accent. Johnny Cage is supposed to be American in this movie, and it completely threw me off when every single time throughout this movie, Carl Urban's accent, because Carl Urban is like a New Zealander. He has like that Australian accent and everything else. And for The Boys, he did like a North London accent and everything else, which is, you know what I'm saying, not big of a stretch. He can switch it from being like an Australian to a British accent like that. But doing an American accent seems to be too difficult for him. So you hear it throughout the movie where he's kind of switches back and forth, or you hear him struggling, or maybe he forgot how to say something with an American tone or accent, but him going back and forth between speaking with like a Australian accent and American accent is just like throwing me off. I feel like they should have just made him Australian. That's all they should have did. Johnny Cage should have had an Australian accent, and they don't explain anything. Just have Johnny Cage with an Australian accent and don't explain it at all. Just have him be Australian. People still would have watched the movie, enjoyed it, and it would have made more sense than him struggling to try to speak with an American accent, and it's not convincing at all. Just don't even explain it. Just have Johnny Cage have an Australian accent and don't explain why. Because there are a lot of things about this movie that are all just sci-fi, fantasy, and all that type of stuff. Just like how they had some other characters in the movie that didn't make any sense. Like I said, with Cole Young, who played by Lewis Tan or whatever, that didn't make any sense at all either. I'm glad he killed him off in the second movie. Just make him Australian. You don't have to explain anything. It's a fucking movie. I would say this is a big improvement over the original Mortal Kombat movie, not just because they have an actual tournament bracket going on and everything else, but because there's actual finishers, actual bloody fight sequences, everything else. Shao Kahn had some good fight sequences and everything else with that hammer and all that. So they basically showed you what Shao Kahn fighting with his hammer, with the hammer stickle thing that he had, what that would look like and all that type of shit. He basically smashed Cole Young's head in. There were pits and areas where they were fighting and everything else. The fight between, I think, Sonya Blade and Sindel and everything else, like that was pretty good. It had spikes coming about the floor, all that sort of thing. Pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed this movie over the original. But yeah, the whole accent with Carl Urban really took me out. But speaking of Australian accents, Josh Lawson, who plays Kano, is hilarious. He's very funny. And with him having that Australian accent and everything else, it made it even funnier too. And I know in this movie, Carl Urban as Johnny Cage tried to be like the comic relief, tried to be funny. He had a couple of one-liners there and there. He was kind of funny, but he was not like the funny guy in the movie like Kano was. Kano was funny in the first movie. He was funny in the second one. He needed more screen time. He needed more lines. He needed to just be more in the movie because he was just funny, naturally funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were some scenes with Johnny Cage that just looked weird with him whirling his arms around when he was going up against Baraka. Just the weird cartwheel shit he was doing. At the end of the movie, he finally gets like his arcana, his superpower. He does that super kick or whatever else. Why didn't he get it throughout the rest of the movie? I don't know. This movie didn't do the whole dragon tattoo shit. I guess they just never brought it up. They never talked about it again. That was in the first movie. You had to have the dragon tattoo. You had to be brought into the tournament like that or whatever else, and they just never brought it up. They just never talked about it ever again. It had nothing to do with this movie. Fuck the whole dragon tattoo thing, I guess. Yeah. There were a couple of things I kind of took away from that movie. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess we're not doing that. I guess we're not doing this. This is one of those movies where I guess you just have to just be like, okay, well, I guess we just moved on from that. We're not doing that anymore. I think the fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao and the whole frisbee hat and everything else, that was way better. Way better. Shooting fire and he was spinning the hat and frisbee hat thing coming through. There were some things that were just weird, but I just kind of like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing. Basically, Kung Lao used his frisbee hat to basically cut Raiden's throat and release like the god energy out of him or whatever else. And I guess it's just, I was like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? And then he like gave the shit in the form of an amulet or some shit to Shao Kahn, and Shao Kahn became immortal. And I'm just like, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted this to be like a tournament and that's it. Just be the tournament, just fight and that type of stuff. It was good action sequences, good finishers. A lot of stuff was very much like the video game. Cool. But yeah. There was a scene where Sub-Zero somehow came back and was turned into a different character, Noob Saibot or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know why they were doing that. Why they brought another character back and named him a different character or some shit. I was like, what are we doing? But overall, good movie. Very good movie. Like I said, I didn't like Johnny Cage. I didn't like that at all. I think he could have played by a better actor. I think that if you're going to keep Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, just make him Australian. Don't explain it. Just put it in the movie. He needed some definite martial arts training in this movie. This looked crazy. There was a scene where, a lot of scenes actually, where they have to just basically constantly explain to him what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And at this point in the movie, when they finally meet Johnny Cage and try to convince him to come with Raiden and Sonya or whatever else, basically it's like, okay, now we got to re-explain everything you just watched in the movie to Johnny Cage. Because he's just like underreacting to the fact that, okay, you're now in a whole different other realm where weird shit is going on. He's like, what is that? The heck, that guy has robot arms. What is that over there? And it's just like, we had to explain the whole movie that we just seen to him, which he should have been at the beginning of the movie, so we didn't have to do all of that. But cool. The backgrounds for this movie looked great. Just the realms, swirling stuff, the stuff that you would see in some of the video games and stuff. Jade looked fantastic. You know what I'm saying? She looked very good. You know what I'm saying? Her fight sequence that she had with, I forgot what the brother name was, Metal Arms. But just fantastic. Looked good. But like I said, Johnny Cage was not believable at all. None of that was believable. Baraka actually, his fight scene that he had with Carl Urban, he actually looked more believable better. You could tell some of the actors actually took the time to actually like train and be like, hey, I really want to be believable as a person who's actually fighting in this movie versus the person who just wanted to look good as an actor. Because you could tell like the character, Tati Gabrielle, who played Jade or whatever, she actually took her role seriously because not only did she want to look good looking in this movie and have good lines or whatever else, but the fight sequences look like she actually took that shit seriously. Now, I forgot the name of the guy who played Scorpion. Like, you could tell he took his role in this movie serious too. You know what I'm saying? The fighting and the movements and everything else, he actually took that seriously. He's actually fantastic in this movie. I still recommend Mortal Kombat 2. So far, it is the best Mortal Kombat we've had because the original 1995 Mortal Kombat looked like shit. And they made another Mortal Kombat after that. And that was like, whatever. And then they started making Mortal Kombats now where there's like blood and guts and people getting hurt and shit like that for real. Because the first two Mortal Kombats they made were like PG-13. So these are rated R. So yeah. Mortal Kombat 1, it's alright. You could watch it. This one's Mortal Kombat 2. I would say as far as the acting, the actors did pretty good except for Johnny Cage. I was not into that at all. Storyline, we don't really care about the storyline. We know Mortal Kombat going into it is going to be some sort of tournament. You're fighting for their realm or whatever else. That's what every Mortal Kombat is. So storyline's okay. I think it was better than Mortal Kombat 1 and better than all the other Mortal Kombats. Special effects was excellent. I thought it was very good and everything else. Rewatchability is pretty good. The rating is good. Definitely a rated R movie. The length of this movie being 2 hours, probably could have dumbed this down to a 90-minute movie. You didn't really need a whole lot of shit in this movie because it's just Mortal Kombat, a tournament, people fighting and shit like that. I don't think this movie needed to be almost 2 hours long. It's okay, but I don't think it needed to be 2 hours long. I think you really could have edited this down to a tight 90 minutes of action. Because per some of the previous movies on my list that I've been talking about or whatever, some of those movies got the job done in an hour and a half. And you know what I'm saying? So Mortal Kombat could have got the job done in an hour and a half. For this movie, I placed this movie somewhere between B- and C+. And I say that because this is not a terrible movie or anything like that. It's not a bad movie, but I just say I do have my critiques of this movie as far as certain things. I do think that, okay, Johnny Cage's accent, his acting ability, re-explaining shit to Johnny Cage in this movie, certain shit, I was just like, I didn't need all of that. I didn't need all of that in this movie at all, some shit. So I'm like, for me, I give this movie like a B-. It's all right. Something you can watch. It's not bad. It's better than the other Mortal Kombats. You could enjoy it. I would just say it's around a B-. It's not a one-time watch. You really could watch this over and again, but it's Mortal Kombat. Something to watch. It's interesting. It's action-packed. It's fighting. It's whatever, you know. So, Mortal Kombat, ladies and gentlemen. Next movie we're going to get into, ladies and gentlemen, is Obsession. Obsession.
Have you ever actually like flirted with Nikki? I'm gonna go get some shots. I'll come with you if she means this much to you. And I know she does. To say, Nikki, I think we should grab a drink sometime.
Nikki, wait, I was gonna ask you,
What?
I lost my train of thought. Good night. What else?
Why?
One wish, Willow. You only get one wish. I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
I love you so much. A love only the branch of a willow tree could conjure. It's weird how you two are dating all of a sudden. Like super dating.
I think Nikki is going through something.
Like what? Is she okay?
No. Jeez, what kind of spells you put on her? Nikki? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you! I was calling to see if there's a way I can cancel a wish.
I'm sorry, we don't really do that.
So she's just stuck like this forever?
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you live.
As long as I live?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Obsession. 2026 movie, runs 1 hour 49 minutes, rated R, stars Indy Navarrete as Nikki Freeman, Michael Johnston as Bear, and Megan Lawless as Sarah Harper. Directed by Carrie Barker. I will say in this movie is basically, for me, it didn't live up to the hype. This movie was so hyped. Everyone's like, oh man, you gotta go see Obsession. And when you actually go see it, you're like, okay. That's the same thing for movies like Mortal Kombat and some of the other movies that I've watched and everything else, where I was like, they hyped it up so much. And when you watch it, you're like, it's okay. It's not bad, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the Backrooms. You're like, they hyped it up so much and you go watch it and you're like, it's all right. Like that sort of thing. It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the rundown for this movie. After breaking the mysterious One Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. Ladies and gentlemen, the main thing I didn't like about this movie is that Bear, he breaks this like Toblerone box type thing that says One Wish Willow. Basically, you get one wish, and that's it. And basically, his one wish is that his crush would fall in love with him, would love him more than anything in this world. And so that's what he did. He got his wish. However, it was literal. She literally loved him more than anything in this world. There was no context at all. She just basically became absolutely obsessed with him because that's what he ordered. And so this movie, I didn't like this movie, and I didn't get it the way other people got this movie, because I don't like any type of movie where a person uses any type of magic or anything, or a type of device or some sort of a talisman or anything to take away the other person's free will and take advantage of it. So for me, this movie came across as real rapey, because you got this man who's like, oh, I have a crush on this girl, and rather than her naturally organically falling in love with him, or they are naturally organically fall in love with each other and get together and stuff like that, he decides to use magic, use a spell to basically take away her free will and take advantage of her. Now, I don't know what world any of the rest of you all live in, but in the real world where I live in, if you do that, that's very rapey. That you're just going to go ahead and take away another person's free will and take advantage of it. And this is exactly what he did, because he used it. The woman in this movie, she almost immediately starts, showing an interest in him. And then they started dating, and then they started having sex, and then they're going together. And then she gets to the point where she can't be without him. You know what I'm saying? She wants to go and see him all the time, be around him all the time, and it becomes very creepy. And basically, until she starts engaging in the creepy behavior and everybody starts to notice it, he's fine, because he gets what he wants. It doesn't matter what she wants. He gets what he wants. It doesn't matter what she wants. So if she wasn't doing some of the crazy shit that made him be like, fuck, I can't deal with this anymore, I want to take back my wish, it was all selfishly about him. He gets to take advantage of this girl who would never normally, under any other circumstances, be in a relationship with him. So I didn't like that, because the main character, Bear, was pretty much a loser, an incel. He can't get laid. You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of a lame dude. And he's talking to his best friend about, like, what's the best way to talk to Nikki and flirt with her and everything else and all this type of stuff. He's a dude with no game. He's a dude who gets no bitches. And it just seems like a type of dude who would use something like magic or anything to go ahead to get a girl to fall in love with you so you can get what you want. And the sad, crazy part, towards the end of the movie, the other character, Sarah, the other girl who's his friend and everything else, seemed like she has some sort of interest in him. And before, she could express that, hey, I really wish things had worked out differently, whatever else, psycho girlfriend bursts through the window with a brick, starts bashing Sarah's face in. And there were a lot of scenes where Bear's friends are coming to him and telling him, like, hey, what's going on? You guys out of nowhere just started dating, and she seems like she's like not all together now. She's like really obsessed with you. She's acting fucking weird. She's never acted this weird at all about anything, let alone yo ass. And what's really going on? And so he couldn't even be honest and tell people, like, hey, I tried this thing or whatever else. None of that. Especially not even to his best friend, who he could have told him straight up, hey, I tried this thing or whatever else. And it wasn't until shit got real bad for him that he decided that, hey, he want to go tell his friend, like, hey, I used this one wish willow to turn her into this thing. There's a scene when he goes to his friend doesn't believe that the one wish willow grants him anything, even though he explains to him, like, hey, could you do this to undo my wish that I put on her and everything else, turn everything back to normal? His friend wishes for $1 billion. $1 billion fills up the room and everything else. It's just crazy. I also want to go back to something I said for one of the previous movies that I reviewed. There is a scene where Bear goes to his friend and he tells him, like, hey, this is what's going on. I used this wish. I turned her into being obsessed with me and everything else. I need you to make a wish to break my wish and everything else. He explains to him everything else. His friend thinks that's crazy. Like I said, if a person never comes to you and says crazy shit to you ever, and then comes to you and says, hey, this box right here, if you take what the contents are and break it in half and make a wish, your wish, it happens or whatever else, and you've been wondering why Nikki has been acting crazy and shit, it's because of this, believe him. Why would you not believe him? They show before the whole wish happened, before Nikki started becoming obsessive and crazy and everything else, he's not a dude who says crazy shit to his friends, let alone his best friend, Curry Barker. So he's not the type of person who says crazy shit. I keep saying that about some of these movies. If you have a friend, child, relative, best friend, lover, whoever else, who never says wild, crazy shit to you, and they come to you and say, hey, look, I fucked up. I took this talisman. I took this whatever, and some crazy shit happened or whatever else. I need you to come with me to help me undo this curse or whatever else. Just believe them. They've never said nothing stupid and crazy like that before. Why would you not believe them? But of course, the best friend in this movie is like, dude, that's crazy. That never happens. If that were possible, I could wish for $1 billion. And then he wishes for $1 billion and he gets $1 billion. He shows up to the house telling his friend, like, hey, the wish was real. I got $1 billion. And he ends up getting killed. So that's what kind of threw me off about this movie. Another thing that threw me off about this movie, there was some jump scares. There were some parts about this movie that where basically the girl was acting real creepy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was following him to the bathroom. There were some scenes where he would wake up and she's in the corner looking creepy and watching him sleep. He was like, babe, come back to bed. And she was just acting weird. There were some scenes where she would just get up and walk backwards, staring at him, keeping her eyes on him. Very creepy shit. The scene where they were all publicly having some sort of Jenga tournament or whatever, moving the pieces or whatever, and they played another game where basically Nikki didn't want the girl sitting next to him, so she got up and moved her and sat next to her. All of that weird obsessive behavior. But for me, watching this movie, I view Bear as the crazy one. I viewed him as the crazy one. Because there's a scene in the movie where Nikki is talking in her sleep and she's basically saying, just kill me. I don't want to live like this. I don't want this. I don't want this. And so for her just to be crying or saying whatever she was saying in her sleep, that she just would rather be dead or whatever else, it kind of showed like her original mind or original self is kind of battling whatever this other thing that is taking over her mind and making her do these things and act this way and everything else. And so it's got her acting crazy. But like I said, for me, I think for me, he took advantage of her. He used this to take advantage of her. He got what he wanted, and as long as she wasn't acting crazy or shit like that, he would never broke his wish. He would never even thought about that. You know what I'm saying? As long as she wasn't cutting herself, harming herself, acting weird enough or whatever else, like he would have just kept taking advantage of her because that's what he wanted to do. He couldn't naturally, organically get this woman to be in a relationship with him, couldn't get her to like him or whatever else. He used magic, he got what he wanted out of her. There were scenes where he was having sex with her, and basically he got whatever he wanted out of her, and she had no free will to resist any of this. She had no choice in any of this. That's why I said, for me, I didn't like this movie at all because it just came across as very rapey. It is him taking advantage of this woman. So I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. At the end of the movie, he kind of decides that he wants to go ahead, and he had another box or whatever else, and he's trying to figure out basically how to undo the curse. So he wants to go ahead and basically overdose or whatever else. And then she takes the one wish Willow, and she wishes for him to be obsessively in love with her too. And I thought for a second that he didn't actually take the pills to overdose, and that he would be falling obsessively in love with her while she falling obsessively in love with him, and that both their wishes would come true, and now they're in love with each other, and that would be the ending of it. But no. She actually gets freed of the wish because he actually overdosed. That was the only way they could break the curse, is that she would love him to death. He would literally have to die. So he dies, she gets free of the curse and everything else, and she freaks out because she's basically, and I would think in this movie, it didn't explicitly say so, that with her having this wish overtake her, whatever else, her being finally free, as if she was basically sitting back watching herself do these things and act these things, but not having no will or say so or control to, you know what I'm saying, to stop any of the stuff she was doing while she was acting crazy. And so, you know, she coming to her realization that, okay, I'm no longer under this spell anymore or whatever else, sees basically Bear, who was a friend of hers, dead. So that's my review for this movie. This movie for me is basically a C-. I would have gave it a D, but there are going to be some people that would watch this movie. And I think that if you're one of those people who don't have an analytical mind like I do, you could just like kind of turn your brain off and watch it as like a jump scare horror movie, psychological movie or whatever else. You could watch this movie. I just know for me, I couldn't watch this movie because I watched this whole movie and I was like, I don't get how y'all enjoyed this movie like that. Now, I had a family member of mine. She went to go watch the movie in the theaters, and she came back from the movie in the theaters like, oh, this is so great and everything else, cool. Then we saw it on a streaming service, and she was like, oh, it's okay. So being in the theater kind of really did it for her because we're in a dark theater, huge screen, the sounds and everything else kind of made it emphasize a lot of stuff going in the movie. But when she saw it basically on her big screen television, she was like, it's all right. So I don't know. It didn't do it for me. Everybody hyped this movie up like it was like, oh, she's so creepy, she's so crazy. But at the end, I was like, it's him. He's the creepy, crazy, weird person who basically took advantage of this girl. He made her like that. You know what I'm saying? We're all kind of wondering, oh, what is she going to do? Who's she going to kill? Who's she going to hurt? She's going to do this, going to do that. I'm like, this nigga is crazy. He's crazy. He took advantage of her. He took away her free will. I ain't like that shit. So I personally would have gave it a D, but I'm gonna give it a C because basically there are people who could watch this movie and not think about it that deep or whatever else. You could just watch it for a horror movie about a crazy, a person who is affected by a spell, who turned crazy, very obsessive and everything else. You could watch it as that. I analyzed this movie a little too much. So for me, I was like, I don't like any movie where a guy uses a spell or any type of amulet, talisman, or whatever else to take away a woman's free will and take advantage of her and make her do whatever she wants him to do. I don't like that shit. So I didn't like the movie. So I give it definitely a C minus. Not into it. The acting, as far as the lead character of Nikki Freeman, I think she had good acting. Her acting creepy, being obsessive. She actually did a really good job of that. It was creepy. It was weird. Had some jump scares. Had some crazy moments to it. It was all right. Special effects was pretty good. The length of the movie, almost 2 hours. Yes, I just could have been shorter. Could have got more to the point. Rewatchability for me, no. I'm probably never going to watch this movie ever again. I'm probably going to watch it once and never again. I would recommend that. Watch it once and never again. Wasn't into it like that. It was all right, I guess. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, Return to Silent Hill.
James, so much time has passed, but I'm asking to please come back to our special place. Something's happened. Love, Mary.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Everyone got sick in Silent Hill.
Something's happened here. Something really, really bad.
Doing. It won't be enough to save her.
You did it, didn't you, Jimmy? You woke him up.
No one said it would be easy.
I'm here. I'll always be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Return to Silent Hill, a 2026 movie, runs 1 hour 46 minutes. Rated R. The movie stars Hannah Emily as Mary, Jeremy Irvine as James, and Evie Templeton as Aura. Directed by Christoph Gans. What can I say about this movie? I just want to say, as far as the Silent Hill series altogether, there's never a need to make another Silent Hill movie ever again. Ever. And I say that because the first Silent Hill movie was okay. I watched it. I liked it. It's okay. It's something that was groundbreaking. It's something they tried to make for the movie. I mean, the movie for like the video game and everything else. Because I enjoyed the Silent Hill video game. I enjoyed it. But, you know what I'm saying? Then they decided to make a 2, and part 2 was even better. So I kind of like Silent Hill 2, and I was like, okay, cool. They made some improvements, some changes and everything else. But then I was like, you don't need to keep making Silent Hill movies. You don't need to make them at all. Like, 1 was fine. You could have just stopped at 1. But then you made a second one. I was like, okay, you did a little better with that one. Okay, I enjoyed that. But you could have just stopped. You could have just never made another Silent Hill movie ever again. But they made one anyway. And this is probably the worst Silent Hill movie ever made, in my personal opinion. I think they don't need to make any more Silent Hill movies. No reason to go back to Silent Hill, let alone return to Silent Hill. No reason to. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the breakdown. Return to Silent Hill follows James, played by Jeremy Irvine. A man broken after his relationship with the love of his life, Mary, ends. When a mysterious letter from her calls him back to Silent Hill, he finds a once recognizable town transformed by an unknown evil. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this whole movie looks crazy. And I will say that simply because I've said when I did my other reviews for Silent Hill that, number one, everything about this town looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? It looks like you shouldn't even have to go into Silent Hill. There are people who tell you before you go, nobody goes to Silent Hill. That shit's been shut down or whatever else. You go there anyways. And then just like the sky is gray. It's like ash and dirt flying from the sky and everything else. There's nothing open. Buildings are condemned and shut down. Everything's ashy and dirty. Cars have been sitting there for years. Everything looks crazy. Everything looks fucking nuts. And I'm just like, why the fuck do we keep going back to Silent Hill? Why? There's just so much crazy shit going on in this town and everything else. And I don't understand why people keep making Silent Hill movies. There's some of the same scenes that you've seen from the first Silent Hill. There's like that mannequin body thing that has no arms, and his face is all obscured and messed up. There's like a hole in his chest, and it spews a bunch of blue black acid out of his chest. There's like bugs that come out of the ground. Some of them are huge with a face on it. There's like fucking pyramid head. He's like 9 feet tall. He has like a sword for some fucking reason. You know, just weird shit. And I'm just like, there's like the killer nurses or whatever else. I'm like, at least if you're gonna make another Silent Hill movie, give me something different. Put some different stuff in it. You're just doing the same shit over and over. With this movie, I would say, number one, the lead character, Jeremy Irvine, who plays James or whatever else, horrible actor. He doesn't convey the emotion of a person who just winds up in a crazy ass Silent Hill. And I said this when I did my review of the other original Silent Hill. You go to Silent Hill and everything looks weird. Now, I'm not even talking about the creatures that appear once that siren goes off, whatever. I'm talking about everything just looks fucking weird. You know what I'm saying? There's ash and dust falling from the sky. Everything looks gray. Everything looks dirty. Buildings are condemned. Cars have been sitting there for years. Everything looks fucked up. You should be freaking the fuck out. Then you start seeing crazy little children, burnt up creatures walking towards you after the siren goes off, whatever else. You're seeing random creatures with no arms spewing acid from them fucking chest. Giant fucking bugs coming out of the fucking sewers and shit. They got faces on them. You should be freaking the fuck out. I don't understand every time I see a Silent Hill movie, people see weird shit and don't freak the fuck out. You should be losing your mind at the kind of crazy shit that's going on in this fucking place. A giant 9 foot tall dude with a fucking pyramid head is out there with a fucking sword trying to kill you. It rips people's skin off. That's one of the reasons why I couldn't get into these types of Silent Hill movies. Because if you go to some crazy unknown place, you need to have a person to express the emotions to freak the fuck out when the shit is going on. This guy underreacts to everything. You know what I'm saying? The second thing that really fucked me up about this movie and everything else is that, number one, everything looks like he's standing in front of a green screen. Everything looks CGI'd. Doesn't look like he's interacting with the background. He doesn't act, or his acting ability doesn't show that, okay, I'm interacting with this environment. None of that. The background looks fucking horrible. A lot of scenes where it clearly looks like he's standing in front of a green screen. But definitely bad CGI. The length for this movie is crazy. This movie is 1 hour 46 minutes. It could have been way less. Way less. You could have made this much shorter movie. The rating for this movie is for some reason rated R. Yeah, there are some stuff that happens. People get killed and shit. I'm like, the rewatchability for this movie is no. Don't even bother watching this. If you're gonna watch a Silent Hill movie or whatever else, the first one and done. You don't need to watch any of the Silent Hill movies. Like I said, the second one was a little bit better because of some different stuff from the first one, but you don't need to watch Silent Hill movies. Go play the video game. They even had like an animated one, I guess, a series or some shit for Silent Hill. You don't need to watch Silent Hill ever. So I'm just surprised. They're like, hey, we're returning to Silent Hill. And then they show you the same stuff you've seen in other movies. And I guarantee you in a year or two, they're going to make another Silent Hill movie. They're like, hey, we're going back to Silent Hill for some reason. And they're going to show you the same shit they showed you from the first 2 movies. Same shit. Same part of town, the same ash and dirt, same weird, crazy shit going on. Completely wasted of a movie. Acting, horrible. Storyline, lame as fuck. Camera work, bad. Scenes, lame as fuck. CGI special effects and shit looks like he's standing in front of a green screen. None of this shit looks like he's in the room interacting with it. So for me, I give this movie a D. I would say don't even bother watching this movie. Don't even bother watching this movie. It is that bad. It's not even worth your time. Do not watch this movie. I feel bad for people who watch this in the theaters. If this went straight to theaters or whatever else, I would definitely not have watched this in the movie. I definitely would have wanted a refund. I would have walked out if I was in the theater watching this. It's garbage. Hot garbage. Absolute rubbish. Fuck this movie. Seriously, not worth the time. So I would say for Return to Silent Hill, how about we never return to Silent Hill ever at all? How about we just leave it at Silent Hill 1 and 2 and we just never watch another Silent Hill movie ever again? There's never a need to make another Silent Hill movie. Ever. And at least if you ever are going to attempt to make another Silent Hill movie, get real, like, stars. Get some, like, major stars, people who are definitely known for doing really good movies. Get a good script going, good special effects, new threats. Just something different than bugs and fucking, what do you call it? The fucking mannequin with the missing arms that spews acid. Something different than fucking Pyramid Head appearing out there with a sword or some shit. Something totally different going on in Silent Hill. Do that. And maybe somebody will watch another Silent Hill movie. But since we know that's never going to happen, let's never return to Silent Hill ever again. Let's do that. How about that? Yeah? Okay. Next thing, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into a movie called Woken. Woken.
That is your first day on the island.
Island?
Yeah.
Helen here tells me that your memory's gone missing. Do you remember me?
You've had a bad fall. You've been unconscious for 2 weeks. Don't worry, baby's fine.
All as it should be.
Where's my family?
You never knew your parents. James says that's why this baby is so important to you both.
This must be a lot for you to take in.
Maybe a trip to the mainland might help me remember.
Once the baby's here, if you still want to go, we'll go.
How do I get off this island?
You can't. Anna, please. While there's still time, go back.
I want some answers. Why can't I remember anything?
You don't know what you're doing.
What have you done to me?
Oh, Anna. You are our greatest success. We only want what's best for you. Sometimes, not knowing everything is what's best.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Woken, 2024 movie, 1 hour and 30 minutes is the length of the movie. Rated R, starring Erin Kellyman as Anna. She was in a movie 28 years later. She was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She was in Top Boy and numerous other movies, ladies and gentlemen. Stars Maxine Peake as Helen, Peter McDonald as Dr. Henry, and Ivano Jeremiah as James. It was directed by Alan Friel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the better movies that I've seen. This is a foreign movie, a British movie. Let me give you the breakdown real quick. Anna wakes to find faces she doesn't recognize on a remote island she has no memory of. She is forced to relearn everything about herself, her husband, and the baby she is carrying. But when two disfigured people arrive on the island, there is a violent altercation. She discovers that the human race is close to extinction and goes searching for the truth about herself. This movie has so many twists and turns. This is a very excellent movie, ladies and gentlemen. You have this character of Anna who basically just wakes up on an island away from the mainland and everything else. She's pregnant. She has these strangers caring for her and everything else. And they're just lying to her. Day one. They're just like, yeah, this guy over here, he's your husband. You had a fall. You hurt yourself. You've been, knocked out, taking care of you for the last 2 weeks and everything else. They manufacture this whole background story and everything else. And then out of nowhere, one day, when she's out walking about, she happens to see this little boat pull up to the shore and everything else. Two people get out. They look very disfigured. They look like zombies. They have like sharp, long tusks and shit hanging out the side of their face and all that. They look fucking crazy. And they're coming to her and they're trying to say, hey, is there a cure? Can you help us? Can you do something for us? And basically, the character of Helen and James, they come out there and they basically shoot these people. They shoot these two people who came up looking disfigured and everything else. They look like zombies, but they're talking like normal, regular people. And they're infected with some sort of virus. So Helen and James, they come out there, they shoot these two people and they set them on fire and they burn up all of their boat and all the material, everything they were carrying to shore and everything else. They grab Anna, bring her back into the house. They start decontamination procedures and everything else. They want to make sure that her and her baby are not infected, that she didn't touch these people or anything like that. All this stuff. And now Anna has a million fucking questions because she's like, what the fuck is going on? Who are those people out there? What's going on? They continue to lie to her. They just say, yeah, we got some infected people or whatever else. We're on the island. We're away from all that type of shit. You're safe here. All that type of shit. As the movie progresses and everything else, you find out the doctor actually works for the military. You find out that her fake husband, James, actually works for the military. They've been running experiments on this island on cloning and shit like that. And so when this whole virus that went down and everything else and basically bringing all of humanity basically to a very small amount of people and everything left, they decided to start doing experiments on the clones that they were making. And so the main character is a clone. She finds out later on they have been cloning her over and over and they've been getting her pregnant and they've been trying to figure out how to make somebody immune to this virus. So the main character, Anna, she is one of many clones. She's one that survived the virus. So she's immune to the virus. And so they got her pregnant and they're trying to see if her babies are immune to the virus too. So they kept getting her pregnant, kept getting the babies, kept running experiments on it, found out that her baby was not immune to the virus, that they would give her something to wipe her memory, and they would start this whole thing over and over. So Anna is a clone who's been alive for 2 years. She's invulnerable to the virus or whatever else, and they've been getting her pregnant over and over for the last 2 years and trying to see if her baby would be immune to the virus. In the movie, the last baby she just had is immune to the virus. They took the baby from her. So now they're going to be doing testing on the baby and everything else. There are a lot of crazy scenes in this movie. We found that one of her previous hosts who had a baby or whatever else, had this little 5-year-old, and Helen had been keeping the child or whatever else away from the doctor. Because the doctor would run tests on that baby to find out if he has some sort of antibodies or whatever the fuck is in his body or whatever else that would make him immune to the virus too. There was a scene where they killed a child. There was a scene where they almost killed a pregnant woman. Like, this was a lot of crazy shit going on in this movie, but just the shock factor of being inside of the laboratory. They had her strapped down and everything else, and then she kills one of the attendants who were trying to reset her memory so they can continue doing experiments on her and everything else. She goes into this area where there's computers and futuristic equipment in there, and basically she finds out, she starts seeing all like the videos up on the screen and everything of basically her former host, other versions of her getting pregnant over and over again, her being the last of the clones that actually survived the virus, her getting pregnant over and over again, the babies that they murdered over and over again. And so it's a very horrifying movie to come to this realization of what's going on, because from the beginning of the movie, you don't know what's going on. You just know that these people are lying to her and they don't know where she's at and what's going on. And it's up until you start realizing that, okay, there's some sort of virus and they're keeping her on the island away from these people. And so the truth about what's really going on and who she really is and everything, it slowly starts to come out. And it is paced wonderfully. It is paced wonderfully. And for this movie to only be an hour and a half, it really does pretty good. A tight 90 minutes, it really gets the fuck on with it. You know what I'm saying? It's paced nicely. Everything that comes out about who Anna really is, why she's there, why is she treated a certain sort of way or whatever, what the military is really doing, what the facility is, everything just comes out in a very timely manner in this movie. I will say in this movie, the lead character, Erin Kellyman, who plays Anna, excellent actor. Very expressive in her face, very good acting and everything else. Ivano Jeremiah, who was in a TV series, I believe, called Humans and everything. He's also a very good actor too. Excellent. I believe the storyline is very unique. I think the camera work for this was excellent. Very good storytelling for this movie. The effects were good. The length of the movie was actually pretty good. I could have enjoyed this movie if it was a little bit more longer too. I mean, it's tight 90 minutes. It got to the point. It covered all its bases, did everything it was supposed to do with this movie. But also, if it were 10, 15, 20 minutes longer, I would have enjoyed that too. I could have used a bit more longer scenes for certain stuff that was going on in this, but you'll enjoy it just being an hour and 30 minutes. As far as the rating, yeah, there's actually a lot of blood. There's a lot of people getting shot. Like I said, babies getting killed. There was a child that got killed in this movie, and the whole grief and everything that goes on with this. There are action scenes in this movie. There is lots of drama, lots of confusion, lots of suspense going on in this movie. And I think that Peter McDonald, who plays Dr. Henry, who's actually, the military leader, whatever else, he plays like a cold-blooded person. When you see him in the military uniform and you find out he's not really the doctor, he's actually like the commander for whatever this is. And he shows no emotion about killing a child. He shows no emotion about taking babies from a pregnant woman and running experiments on. He shows zero emotions about doing it. He's so cold-blooded in this movie. And so I totally believe this guy was crazy. He does not care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's crazy about this movie. I would say the rewatchability about this movie is pretty high. You could definitely watch this movie over and over, even though you know what's going to happen. It's excellent. One of the best movies I've ever seen. Very surprising. Good twist at the end. Excellent movie. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been my 10-pack review of excellent movies from 24, 25, and 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, covered some of the greatest movies. Covered some of the movies that are not so great, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about The Back Room. Talked about SUPERGIRL 2026, Super Mario Galaxy, Redux, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, They Will Kill You, Mortal Kombat 2, Obsession, Return to Silent Hill, and Woken. Again, let me just run it back real quick to let you guys know. Backrooms, I gave a C-. It was mid. It was all right. Personally, I wouldn't pay to go see that in the movie theaters. Even though I did, I would have never paid to go see it in the movie theaters. It could have been a movie that I could just saw on streaming service one time and have been like, oh, okay, that's what that is. I gave my suggestions of what they could do to improve it and change it or whatever else. I think they should do that if they're going to make a part 2. Supergirl 2026, I gave it a B-. I think it was actually a pretty good movie. I gave it a few changes that could happen to this movie and everything else. A lot of people are giving this movie very negative ratings and everything else. Part of it is because of Supergirl's look. They're saying she's too short, and they're saying she looks kind of handsome. They should, because of her strong jawline, because she doesn't have the very soft, round, feminine face of most women and everything else. They're just kind of trashing on her. I think that she's not ugly. She's a very normal looking, regular looking girl. And I think that her being a short Supergirl, who she played an excellent Supergirl. I think that the acting is superior, and that's what people should care about. Super Mario Galaxy was hilarious. It was fun. You could watch it again over and over again. You could enjoy it. It's very fun. You don't need to think too hard about this movie. It's rated PG. You can have a good sit down with your family and watch this. Get a bowl of popcorn. It's very funny. It's very fun to watch. Redux is a very serious movie. It's about a grieving mother who basically is traveling through different parallel dimensions, trying to find a universe where her daughter is still alive. Since she has not yet found a universe where her daughter is still alive, she's taking out the killer over and over again. And she's becoming addicted to it. And I think that's a very unique storyline as far as a movie that's dealing with like time travel or at least parallel dimension shifting. Good luck, have fun, don't die. One of the best movies I've ever seen. I think that the lead character for that movie, he is hilarious. It is an excellent movie. I give that movie an A+. It has a little bit of everything in it. It has a lot of action, sci-fi, comedy, the whole deal in it. And it's very satirical. They Will Kill You. I gave that movie an A+ too, because that movie is excellent. That movie has great kills, good soundtrack, good action. Storyline is fantastic, and Zazie Beetz looks very beautiful and sexy while she's killing people and chopping people's heads off. Looks fantastic. Mortal Kombat 2 gave a B-. As far as Mortal Kombat movies goes, this is one of the better ones. This is better than all the other Mortal Kombat movies. However, there are some issues I have with this movie. Get rid of Johnny Cage, or at least just make him British, make him Australian, whatever, so he doesn't have to do the stupid accent thing. I think it's another movie you shouldn't have to think too hard about. It's just, you just watch it and enjoy it, and then that's it. It's nothing too much wrong with that movie, but it's a Mortal Kombat movie. You know what I'm saying? Until we see a much longer, drawn out movie with like incredible kills and the majority of the Mortal Kombat characters from all the games or whatever else, it's just a Mortal Kombat movie you could watch one time and enjoy. I gave Obsession a C-. I did not really like Obsession. It did not live up to the hype and everything else for that movie. And that's simply because I don't like a movie where somebody is using a magical spell, a talisman, a device, anything to basically take away a woman's free will and have your way with her. I don't like that shit. That's why, to me, the movie came across as kind of rapey. This guy seemed as kind of a creep. He was getting whatever he wanted from her, and she had no way to fight back from that. She had no choice in the matter. He got whatever he wanted out of her, and it was only because she started acting really creepy and crazy, hurting herself, acting crazy in public. She took a brick and smashed in the face of his other female friend, Sarah, just doing shit like that. If she wasn't doing that, he'd have no reason to try to like change his wish or do anything. And I think if he was sincere about like letting her free from the wish or whatever else, like it wouldn't have took him so long to get to the decision of maybe he should just give his life up so she could have her life back. Didn't like that movie. Return to Silent Hill. We should never have to return to Silent Hill ever. There's no reason to ever do another Silent Hill movie ever again. Like I said, the original Silent Hill movie, it was okay. They did a little better with the second Silent Hill movie because they added some new elements to it, changed a few things. You got a little bit of different things with Silent Hill 2, but this Return to Silent Hill, there's never another reason to make another Silent Hill movie. I gave this movie a D. There's no reason to watch this movie ever at all. It's not good at all. It's not even good by Silent Hill movie standards. It's nothing to watch. You're going to see a lot of the same stuff that's in the other Silent Hill movies. Nothing original, nothing new. The CGI, the effects, the acting is bad. Everything's bad. Then last on our list, we have Woken. Woken is fantastic. It has everything into it. It has drama, it has action. It has some sci-fi stuff in there. It's excellent. You got Anna, who wakes up. She's pregnant. People are lying to her. She doesn't find out that she's a clone, and basically she's immune to a virus that the world is suffering with. She's trying to, they're capturing her, trying to figure out if her baby is also immune to the virus. It's a lot of stuff going on with this movie, but they cover all of that movie in a nice tight 90 minutes. They really get the fuck on with the movie, and I like that shit. So that has been my review for my top 10 movies of the last couple of years and everything else, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe. Make sure you contact me at doomstar7@gmail.com. I am Mike Starks, the Mike Starks Show, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy the next episode of the Keeping It Real podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting season 2, me and King Dominic on the ones and twos. We're going to be starting season 2 of the Keeping It Real podcast, ladies and gentlemen. different intros, different stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next time. Peace.